Hey everyone. So it is Tuesday night, 6:00 p.m. We're about 5 minutes late. Sorry about that. We were trying to figure out a new platform that we're using to go live on Facebook through our desktops and be able to all three be on the screen here for you guys. And just as a side note, that's sort of kind of one of the amazing things and challenging things about this business is that you're constantly learning new ways to connect with your audience, and you really just have to be willing to try it and see how it goes. So y'all know that that's kind of what we're doing right now, is just trying out this new platform. You guys are going to be our guinea pigs tonight. So welcome. We would like to start by just talking about some of the most common objections that we all had ourselves and that we run into time and time again when it comes to talking to people who really think that this could be the thing that they could be passionate about or that could change their lives in terms of financial or time freedom, right? Like the only reason financial freedom matters is because of the time. Time is the most valuable commodity that we have. And the reason that we're all so short on time is because we're breaking our backs for a dime. And we're not doing it on our terms, right? And that's why I imagine a lot of you might be here to begin with. And this doesn't have to be a business that's all about money, but it's also not something that you should be ashamed about, that you are trying to build a life of financial freedom so that you can have the time freedom that allows you to make your life whatever you want it to be. So we want to go over some of those most common objections. And after we're through, we will do a live question and answer session. So if you have questions, please feel free to post them in the comments below. If you have comments or anything that you want to shout out while we're going through this, go ahead and post them in the comments below this. Now, I'm going to be checking my phone real quick just to make sure that I'm not talking to myself here. And it looks like we are live, okay? This new thing is so cool. So it is. Oh, well.
Oh, yeah, it is. Okay,
there's a delay, I think. So they can hear, like we are hearing ourselves before they actually hear us. I don't know what to think about that. But, okay. So you heard mine and Jackie and Jody's stories yesterday. I hope you could see a little bit of your story in ours. And let's just get started. So like, I'm sure you guys had just as many objections as I did, not only right when you signed up, but like through those first handful of months, right? Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
And do you feel like the same things that you were afraid of are the same things that everybody else was afraid of that you've talked to about this business?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Common themes, right? So number one objection, Jackie, I'm going to ask you, what do you think the number one objection that came to your mind when we started talking about objections was?
Definitely goal weight. You know, I hear all the time that I'm not at my goal weight, so how can I help others on their fitness journey?
And you think what about that?
Honestly, that it's crap. I'm going to tell you guys, actually, if you know, you go to my page, like you click on my profile. Tonight, I actually posted my original picture of what I looked like when I started coaching. And that was about 50 pounds ago. And
wow.
I hit it.
50 pounds is a lot.
You know, and that's how I started. And that was 4 years ago. But it, you know, it took that long to get here, but it's so worth it, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Jody, did you feel like you were supposed to look like something differently? Did you think that a coach looked a certain way when you started?
Well, for me, I mean, I joined literally right after I got off of maternity leave. So, of course, I wasn't in, top ideal fit shape. And I had to, I could have just waited, worked on a transformation, and then signed up as a coach. But I wanted to get the ball rolling. And I actually found out that during the process, I became more relatable. I had to think about what inspires me when I'm on Instagram and always looking at these photos. Is it that chick that has those abs, or is it the transformation photo before and after? Because when I see a transformation photo, I want to know all the detail. What'd you do? How long did it take? X, Y, Z. And it's that journey. That's why people flock to you when they're seeing you. You know, she only started a month ago and look where she is again. And then 2 months later, you're more relatable versus somebody who was just always toned fit. I mean, athletic basically. And you're chopping it down to was they got started early or they got good genes, and I just couldn't relate to that. And not to say we can't be coaches either, but for me, I was somebody that was seeking a transformation, coming off of maternity leave and wanted to get the ball rolling. And then I sought people that did have a transformation, not somebody that has been fit, you know, for decades plus.
Well, I think that's an important point that you made, not just that you don't have to be at your goal weight yet, but on the flip side, if you already have a six-pack because you happen to be one of those people that I wish I were, that just have the genes, that you can be a coach too. Like, we know people who have been coaches, very, very successful coaches, who already have a six-pack, because this isn't just about weight loss. This is about lifestyle. This is about spiritual health. This is about emotional health. This is about just knowing that even though you maybe were born with a six-pack, like my little sister was, that bitch, you know, like, you know, it doesn't mean that you're healthy on the inside. And you know, so this is a comprehensive approach. That's why we never say that there are quick fixes. That's why we never will advocate for that, because this is about transforming. Literally, one thing I never expected. So the way that I address this, you know, question or objection is like, I started wanting to lose weight. I had tried lots of quick fixes, and I was at my wit's end, and I was willing to try anything, and I didn't expect this to actually work for me. So when I started, I wasn't at my goal weight, but the sort of caveat here for me is that I didn't share with anybody that I was on a journey. So I didn't take the opportunity in the beginning. I didn't see the opportunity to say, hey, I might not look like a fitness model, but I'm going to do my best to be the best me. And I want to share it with you to hopefully inspire those of you who are feeling the same way I'm feeling right now. That's the power of not being at your goal weight yet, I think, is being able to inspire people. Because like you said, Jody, like if you look at somebody with already a six-pack and you're not that person, you go, oh, that's great for her, but like, that's not me. You can't relate to that. You can't relate to that. And so,
sorry, Jack. You know, it's one of those things that's just like, if she can do it, I can do it. You know, because I've seen people that were bigger than me to start, and they're way like packs. You know,
it's inspiring. And like, if I saw Jackie 50 pounds ago on Instagram, and I saw her in her living room doing the hard things, I'd be like, dang, I always say that I can't start because I can't do a push-up, and I see this other girl on Instagram doing 50, but look at this girl. She's 50 pounds overweight still, and she's trying. She's doing them on her knees. She's showing me her struggles, you know, right? Like, that's what's inspiring. Yeah. So on the flip side of that, you know, if you are already super stoked on fitness and you just want to find a way to reach more people and inspire more people through this business, you can do that too. The coaches come from all walks of life. We know, we have seen people that still had 100 pounds to lose that soared in this business. It isn't about where you are, it's about where you want to be and how much of your journey you're willing to share with other people. That's really what it's about.
And this is a business, you know, and with any business, you have to build a brand. You have coaches in this business that their brand is plus size. Now, they were plus size before, they lost weight, but they're still technically considered plus size, and they're helping plus size women just become a healthier weight, you know?
And maybe they don't, lots of those coaches I'm thinking of don't even necessarily want to have a six-pack. That's not their goal.
Right.
So your goal doesn't have to be to get a six-pack. It can just be to be healthier. And you will inspire other people who don't want a six-pack, who just want to be healthier.
Right.
So I think we've pretty well addressed that objection. The next one that I have is we don't have, so a lot of people think that when you start this, they think, oh, well, I live in a small town, I don't have any friends, and I only have like 100 friends on Facebook and Instagram combined, right? Like, I don't have a social network. Jody, what do you think about that?
Oh my gosh. The thing is, I come from, like, my coach, she comes from a small town in Kansas City. I mean, small. I think her high school graduation class was 100 and something. For me, mine was 2000. So, and she has been within the top 10 in the past 2 years. And we train you on how to grow your social media following, you know, how to be influential, how to share your journey, how to tell your story through social media. And the people are just going to come, you know, so you'll have, we're just not going to put you out there and open and you figure it out. Like, you'll never get that. Even going through like a 30-day training, you're going to constantly be placed in training. And social media, what I like about this business too, any random person, say if you're not running a business, but you're on Facebook or Instagram, you wouldn't even know like half the times when social media is changing. Like you would just totally miss it.
Yep.
In this business, just you learn about like algorithms, and it's not for you to figure out how the algorithm works. And people just, you wouldn't even know like half the times when
my phone's being crazy. Sorry.
But just know that we will find out, and we're always doing trainings, and then the company's always doing trainings to where we know how to change up little things within social media to gain a better following. So again, you'll have enough training, and you'll have, I mean, like for the lifetime that you are a coach. It's not a, it's not like a regular job per se where you're going through a probationary period and then you're out on your own. It's never like that. You belong to a team, and then when things change, and you share it within the team, and you'll know about it. You just grow with it that way. But if you have zero following, start. You'll be surprised at what you can get within a few months, and it just grow and compound from there.
Well, what's amazing too about social media, which we're all using right now, right? Like probably most of the people who came into this group don't live in the same town as you, and you didn't know them from high school, right? Yeah. So how did you all end up here? Social media. This is a world, like I totally boycotted social media for a lot of years. Even when I was first starting this business, I still had that negative mindset, like I'm not doing it. Like I'm keeping it old school. I'm going to talk to my friends on the phone, which I wasn't doing anyways, by the way. And, it was like, I was totally like, I don't want any part of that social media world. I never had a MySpace. My friends tried to force me forever. That was like the first sort of Facebook, right? And I wouldn't do it. I was completely a hater. So just know that like you will evolve in your knowledge of social media. And like Jody said, it's always changing. So it doesn't matter if there are 20 people in your town or 20,000 or 2 million. All that matters is that you're willing to learn the things, the tools that you need to have to reach people all over the world, you guys. Like Jody mentioned, I think in her video yesterday, we are in US and Canada and Puerto Rico. We are going to the UK in less than a month. It's only the beginning. The only reason that we're not expanded in multiple countries is because we are shipping real food, exotic ingredients across borders. So that takes some time for the company to figure out. But the UK is just actually I'll say Puerto Rico and Canada were the very first. And UK is next. And who knows where we'll go after that. So you have the potential to.
Yeah.
I mean, I talked to my fiance about this because he's a personal trainer, and I've talked to personal trainers who think, well, what's my role in this? Like, I'm a personal trainer. I don't know if I can do this whole online coaching thing. Well, think about the number of people. Like if you were just relying on your social network in your small town, no business could thrive that way unless you're a brick and mortar local mom and pop shop, which frequently fail. Mm-hmm. The amazing thing is that we have the opportunity. We don't have to rely on just the people we know and can see and meet in the grocery store. We have endless people that we can meet that are just like us. And the people that are like me aren't going to identify with Jody or Jackie, right? Like there's no scarcity mindset here. The people that identify with Jody and Jackie, like Jackie and I don't have kids. Jody does. Another mom, when she says, I don't have time because of my kids, and I say, yes, you do, she's going to be like, you're full of shit. You don't have kids. Right? So like there are different like people all over the world that we can all relate to. So social media is not something to be afraid of. It's actually something to be excited to learn and grow. Right. Jackie, what do you think about like having to have a large network or a large town?
Well, so, I'm kind of the opposite of Jody. My graduating class had 92, and that's because 3 people graduated early. I went to college, but I got my associate's degree in 1 year, and I didn't really make friends. That's a lie. I met my husband, but that was it, really. And then I went on to a university in a different state where people were in this 4-year program, and I came in late. They already had friends. They already had cliques. I mean, I made some friends in college, but not a lot.
Same.
Yeah. So let's see. On my team, the first person to hit a huge milestone on my team, I met via Facebook on my like page, and she lives in Canada. We live nowhere near each other. We've become best friends because of this, but we didn't go to high school together. I mean, we didn't, And the next one after that, I met on Instagram. You know, it took a while before even my friends wanted to join me. I reached out and found people who needed me.
Well, I'll tell you this too, like the friends that joined me first, those people who helped me get my Shakeology paid for, the whole reason I decided to actively try to be more of a hobby coach than a discount coach was because I had friends who saw my results and they wanted to join. Not a single one of them is still with me. Not one. But I'll tell you that my most diehard, steadfast challengers who are in it with me forever and ever, they're discount coaches or hobby coaches at this point. They all are people that I met on Instagram or Facebook. And you see that Jody and Jackie and I obviously have a relationship. We were blessed enough to meet each other. Like I met Jackie through a team that I'm not even a part of, but the coach like invited me into the team to be, because I needed more support, right? So like this amazing person invited me into her team to be like an adopted coach. And that's how I met Jackie. I met Jody through a training group that had tens of thousands of people in it. And she was looking for a success partner. And I saw she was a nurse. And I was like, I want to be that girl's friend. I checked out her page a little bit. I messaged her. It almost didn't work out. And then it did. And I said, I have this girl, Jackie, who's amazing. We should all like go in on it together, right? So none of us knew each other when we met. But when we all met for the first time, it was like we'd known each other for 10 years.
Exactly.
That's one of the, it's not something to be afraid of or to not start this business because of. It's actually something to look forward to. You have the opportunity. Like if I were relying on only having a network of friends within the area that I live, I'd be really fucking lonely and sad because I'm not good at making friends. I'm a total introvert, right? And like the chances that you're going to really click with people who you might not have anything in common with, like it's going to feel forced, right? But you have the opportunity to meet people online that are like you. So that's actually a great thing.
That's so funny. I was going to say that too. Like if you're an introvert, this is the ideal situation because you never have to see anybody face to face. You're all from social media. You know what I mean? So,
let's talk about it. That's another objection on the list, right? So like,
absolutely.
Go ahead with that, girl. What about being an introvert?
Yeah. Well, I like to say that I'm an extroverted introvert.
Same.
But right. But I mean, through social media, it's just like to me, it's like an even playing field, whether you're extrovert or introvert, you know? I choke up in person, but through social media, it's like, okay, you never have to see my face, and, you know, and here's the thing, like you guys can see him up in my bed, and I don't know if you guys can see that, but
yeah,
you know, I don't have to put on work clothes and go out there in the atmosphere, just typing away and just communicating with people and connecting with people online, and the potential just to grow it. Social media is everywhere, so.
Well, and same glass of wine. I'm in the middle of a major move. My house is in complete disarray. I looked like hell all day. And I told Jackie before we started this, I'm going to go put on a hat and try to look a little bit presentable. But like, I didn't have to completely stop my life to be able, this is considered work. What we're doing for you right here, right now is considered work, you guys. I'm drinking a glass of wine. I've got essential oils in the diffuser over there. I stink. I'm so glad you guys can't see me in person because I don't smell good. I've been working all day. I am totally an extroverted introvert, 100%. And it's hard because you see me on this video and I might sound like an extrovert, but I'm not. I'm only feeling this way. And again, like being an introvert, you're scared of video and I don't want to talk to people. When I started, I was terrified to start a conversation on social media. Right?
Yeah.
That's part of being an introvert. Like it doesn't happen overnight. It's a learning and growing experience. But I'll tell you that the conversations I've had, I've learned, I've pushed out of my comfort zone. I've learned to have these conversations on social media. And it's forced me, well, I guess through like a secondary nature, I've become better in person. I'm learning how to ask live in front of me people more questions, looking up from my phone in the grocery store and saying, hi, how are you? And actually listening to the answer, like being on a social media platform type business, I've learned how to be a better person in real life, which is not something I ever expected. And I know Jackie's an introvert too. Jackie and I stayed together in a hotel in March at a training event. And honestly, it was fantastic. And she's the first person that I've ever stayed with that I actually felt comfortable with. I'm such an introvert that I'm willing to pay 3 times more sometimes just to have my own room because I'm scared to room with other people.
Right.
Yeah. But Jackie and I did fantastic together. It was not weird at all. It was awesome.
It was.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just the thing. Like, you meet people who are just like you. You know, if you guys listen to our videos, I'm in New York, although at the time I was in Virginia. you know, Jody's in Florida and Trisha's in California. Like, we don't see each other all the time. Like, this isn't a thing. So actually, the first time when we roomed together in March was the first time, what do you think? We spent more than 10 minutes, like, in a room talking to each other?
Yep, because at previous events, we had met each other like, hi, I'm Trisha. Do you recognize me from my Facebook profile picture?
Yeah.
You know? And it was like, so we met like at events maybe once or twice, and we're part of the same like larger team, but we never had a relationship. But we built this relationship online. And honestly, I consider Jackie and Jody some of my best friends. I literally talk to them more frequently than I do the girl that I've known since the 4th grade who never answers my phone calls, right? So like, we've chosen our Beachbody family, and I think it's really fantastic. And I just really look forward to finding more of my soulmates online. Yeah. It's not like a dating website. Don't get me wrong. Like, you know, trying to find my girls. And like, that's what this is about. It's about, instead of where you work in a normal business where you have to deal with the people that like you can't stand. And it's like, that's just work, like, right? Like, we've all been brainwashed to think that there are these things that we have to accept about our job. And like, I'm a nurse in an ER. There are a lot of strong personalities, and it's really, really hard sometimes. Sometimes it's the other nurses that I'm working with that we cause each other so much stress that's higher than even the patient's personality stress that we're going through. Right. And to be able to have a business where you can say, I'm going to pick and choose the people that I'm working with based on their being like me. I can find my tribe. I've never had a tribe of women. Jackie's the same way, I know. And I venture to say that Jody's the same. I have a really hard time making girlfriends. I don't relate to a lot of girls. I have always felt like I was a little bit different than the girls I was surrounded with. And I always felt really insecure about that. And now I have the opportunity to build a community of women who are like me for the first time in my life. So, okay, introvert, check. That's not a good enough excuse. So the next one is, I don't have time. I feel like I should start with this one.
Yeah.
Let's just talk about it. I have 2 jobs in cities that are 220 miles apart. I also run a home business in my quote unquote spare time. There's no such thing. I have to make the time, right? So like, I don't have kids, no. I do, however, have a, family, and I have dogs, and I have, like I said, for 4 years, I've been traveling anywhere between a 7-hour drive and a 3.5-hour drive for my job. So I'm on the road all the time, and I'm like packing bags, food prepping, taking off for 4, 5, 6 days, coming back. And I've been doing this for 4 years, right? So I have a really hard time when people say I don't have time. And when I tell myself that I don't have time, I have to pause and say, okay, what if I flip it and say, I don't have time versus it's not my priority? So the massive potential that exists in this business can take that time excuse out of the equation for the rest of my life. If I can hunker down and use my spare time instead of watching TV or going out with my friends for coffee, these are the small sacrifices that we make for 1 or 2 years to build a life where I don't have time is not in my vocabulary because I control my time. So like, what do you want? Do you want to be saying I don't have time for the rest of your life because you're working on somebody else's schedule for their benefit, where you have zero control and you're missing, Jody knows, we're missing holidays, weekends, birthday parties, plays for our kids. Like, I'm building this business. One of my primary goals is to build this business to where when I do have kids, I don't have to say, mommy can't come. Mommy's going to be gone on Thanksgiving because, the man says that I have to work. Right? Like, no, time is not an excuse. It's a reason. It's a motivation. Not having time means you need this more than you think you do. Because why should we all go through our lives having no more than 5 minutes for ourselves to do things that make us happy? Bullshit. I digress. Next.
Jody.
Jackie. Jody.
I'm passing.
So with me, I have 3 kids, and
Exactly why I passed. Because everyone needs to hear this.
and with me raising our youngest, she's 17 months now. You know, I have to work around her schedule. You know, so again, where do I want to be in a few years from now in regards to my time? I get up sometime, like I would say, the past couple of weeks, I've been getting up 5 o'clock in the morning, either to get my workout done early or to get started on some of the work first, so I wouldn't have so much later. We train you how to get pretty much everything that you need to get done in an hour a day. But because myself and these ladies here want to grow faster, we do a whole lot more. You control this. This is your business. So you can say, okay, I'm just going to do the bare minimums and go at a smooth pace and get my feet wet and see how things go. Or, you know what, I want to take off fast. I want to go full force, and I have some big goals that I want to hit. And that's where we are. So I wake up earlier, I get stuff done, and then after that, I'm doing things in pockets, you know, because if she's awake, it's not getting done. She's taking a nap. I know on a good day, I have 2 hours.
Sometimes it's a power pocket. I love this term. It's called power pockets. Like for me, on the days that I work, I can't get a ton of business done. On the days that I'm off, I can make up for that. But the days that I'm working, when I go pee at work, which is rare, when I go pee at work, I open up my phone on the toilet and answer a message, right? Like when I am on my lunch break, instead of sitting in the lunchroom where everybody's going to distract me and try to talk to me and ask me questions, I go somewhere private, whether that be to my car or in the outside courtyard, so that I can shovel food. It takes 5 minutes to shovel food in my mouth. I have a 45-minute lunch break, right? That's 40 minutes. That's a huge in this business. 40 minutes is huge, right? So power pockets. And you brought up something that I thought was really fantastic, is that you wake up a little bit early. And I, as a graveyard shift worker and a true insomniac, stay up for 3 days at a time since I was like 10 years old, a true biochemical insomniac. I have his name. That's my fiance. Thank you. So I loathe, it is probably one of my most dreaded things on the planet to wake up early in the morning. For me, sometimes I definitely wake up, like I set an alarm when I know I've got things to do. Like if I have to record a video for my challenge group or I want to connect with somebody specifically, I will set an alarm and do it. Suck it up, right? But I'm the person that stays up late instead, because I'm better at staying up late. I'm worse at waking up early. So you get to decide what works best for you in your schedule. If you're, I only became a day shift worker like a few months ago. For the first 10 years of my career, I was a graveyard shift worker, and I could make it work based on my schedule, not somebody else's. So like, Jackie, you say you're passing, but like, I know you're working full time from home right now, but you weren't always.
Right. I just wanted to, pass Jody because I don't have children and she's a saint. No, but yeah, okay. Yeah, I didn't always do this. I do this full time from home now for a reason. I did work 2 jobs when I started this. One job was not as long as a commute as some people's, but it was 45 minutes a day each way. And that was for a job that paid nothing, but it was on a stepping stone that I needed in the path that I thought was where I was going. And I actually developed at that time a schedule of where you can get it done in 4 15-minute little segments. Literally, whatever you need for the day, done in 4 little segments. But, I heard this thing the other day that it's like, if it's not a priority to you, and you can't make time for it, think about the things that all of a sudden come up and you have to make time for them. Whether it be an emergency doctor appointment, little extreme, or, guys, I know what's previewing tonight. That show's big. I know a lot of people who skipped their workout today so that they would have enough time to watch.
Wait, what is it? I missed it. I don't know.
This is us.
About. Oh, it's on tonight? Yeah. Oh, baby Jesus, I'm really excited now.
She's still here.
She's not working tonight.
But guys, you make time for these kinds of things. You know, if your kid comes home from school and is like, oh yeah, by the way, I need 40 cupcakes for tomorrow. My mom used to do it. She used to make time. You always find the time for the things that are a priority to you. You just have to make the decision to make them a priority.
Mm-hmm.
It's so true. That's why I find the exercise of, instead of saying I don't have time to people, say it's not a priority. And when you say that, you're not being like callous or rude. It's more for an internal reflective thing. When you say the words, it's not a priority, try when your daughter comes home and says, I need 50 cupcakes for tomorrow, saying, no, it's not a priority for me. How's that going to make you feel? Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So if you're trying to build a business that gives you time freedom so that doesn't matter what comes up in life, you have time for it because you can make time for it because you're the boss. Think about that. Like, if you have to sacrifice some early mornings or late nights for a couple of years to have the opportunity to sleep in whenever you want, stay home from work when you're sick, take a rest if you have to. There are coaches that are the top coaches of the network that were affected by things like the hurricanes in Eastern United States, right? And they were able to say, they didn't have to call into their job and say, like, I can't come on who knows, like I'm not going to earn any income for the next month because the entire infrastructure of our town has been wiped out. Mm-hmm. I can't imagine the stress of that. Instead of that, they say, nope, it's good. I'm earning an income, a residual income that is more money than I could ever need. And my team's got my back. So if I can't be present on the page for a little while, for a week or two, they've got my back, and I'm not going to stop my momentum. I'm not going to stop making money. My team's not going to stop being successful just because I had a life crisis. Talk about the new American dream. Like, I didn't think about this before, but I feel like it's a thing in my head now. The new American dream. The old American dream was to work for a boss 40 hours a week, earn an income that bought you a cute little house in a cul-de-sac. And then it, allowed you to have retirement that was sort of equivalent to your monthly pay so that you could then enjoy your life.
Which will tell you there's no guarantee for Social Security. So
nowadays, are you kidding? I could never, even as a nurse in a high-paying city in San Francisco, my retirement still wouldn't cover us 60 years from now. It won't. It just won't be enough. And I see in the ER impoverished elderly people, and it fucking breaks my heart. I see 80-year-olds who tell me that they live in a cesspool of other drug people because it's cheap, and they're eating cans of chili every single day because it's affordable. They only have 64 cents a day to spend on food, and they're 80. What an are you kidding me? That is heartbreaking. I know you ladies as well. I'm going to create my future. I'm not going to be a victim to it because I bought into the old American dream.
That's right.
So busy schedule, check. We're all busy. And that's another thing is, like, when in your life are you ever going to say, I'm not busy? I got all the time in the world.
And if you're coming off bat and saying I don't have time, then you're not going to have time because you already made it up in your mind that you're not going to have time.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm going to make time. I'll figure this shit out. It's going to happen one way or the other, but I'm going to get it done.
If you got time for This Is Us, you got time to then send some like messages and like follow up with some people and make sure your girls are doing well in your challenge group, please.
There's commercial breaks, guys. So I've heard. Don't.
I mean, honestly, would you sacrifice your TV to like have a life that you completely like could never have even dreamed of because it's so amazing? Like, come on, it's fucking TV, please. Yeah. So, done. Cost of investment. Jody, I know you had to save for a few months. Sorry about the dogs. They're crazy. I know you had to save for a few months. I put mine on a maxed out credit card, but I want to talk to you about having to save for a few months to make it happen. Like, you knew you wanted this, but you didn't have the money, right?
Yeah. I'm a visual person. I wrote myself an envelope because I knew if that money went into my bank account, it was getting spent. And I like exactly. So I had done my research. I said, this is what I'm going to be doing. As soon as I pop this baby out, and how much is it? And I'm like, And I wasn't even thinking like, but this is your business. Like, this is a startup for a business, you know? And the other like conventional business that you hear of, a startup is tens of thousands at the very least, whether it be getting inventory, whether you're online businesses tend to be cheaper because you're not having to pay a landlord for a building. But can you imagine if it's a store? That's $100,000 starting right there, just to have the facility and not have the equipment or whatever you're selling in. So I'm like $160. I'm like, okay, I need to shut my mouth up, right? And when I thought about it, okay, now I'm having kids. I'm like, I spend that in diapers for a month. That's just gonna.
Dang.
So I said, bust the envelope out, and every pay period I was putting 20. If I could do a little more, because as nurses, I'm a nurse and we do hourly. So if I stayed a little bit over and try to stretch it and got a little extra, that money was going in there. And I hit my 160 and I'm like, hey, let's go. I'm ready. When you make up your mind it's going to happen one way or the other, it's going to happen.
Well, how many times do we say we don't have money for like that shirt from Target, but we buy it anyways, right? Like it's all a matter of perspective.
Yeah. Or Starbucks coffee, knowing damn when we get a big coffee at home. Yeah. That's me.
Jackie, when you signed up, did you feel like you had the money?
I didn't have the money. I too put it on a maxed out credit card. I signed up 2.5 months after getting married. I paid for our entire wedding.
I was gonna say you were already broke.
Oh God, yes. And I put it on a maxed out credit. Maybe a little to my husband about how much it actually cost. He eventually found out, but it was for the discount. I really, truly, badly wanted that discount because I knew that this workout program that I'd been doing and the shake that I had been doing was amazing, and I couldn't not have it. And just here's your little plug. Fast forward 4 years later, and we are credit card debt free.
Yeah.
Awesome.
From the same credit card that we maxed out multiple times over that 4 years.
Well, think about this. The very top coach of the network times the last 3 years. I mean, girl's not hurting for money even a tiny bit. Like she could stop working right now and 20 years from now probably still have enough money to like sustain her family. Mm-hmm. She didn't. Her husband was like, hell no, no way. We're not spending our money on that. So she, when it came time for her birthday or whatever holidays that people wanted to give her gifts for, she said, give me money. I have something I want to invest it in. Yeah. And she asked her family she spent her birthday money on her first challenge pack. And that is, let's be clear, that's the only requirement to sign up. There are no fees. Like Jody mentioned, when you start a brick and mortar business, you're spending hundreds of thousands of dollars and you're under the weight of that loan.
Yeah.
Right. So like, and furthermore, I know other direct sales businesses that involve things like clothing or even other like supplement type things that require that you buy like $7,000 worth of product or $2,000 worth of product, and you hope that you can sell it.
Yeah,
you
boxes
hope. And the ones that people don't buy, you're giving away as freebies because you can't keep, like, we've got a whole bunch of fucking extra leggings in your house. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's amazing that we don't have to invest in that kind of stuff. Our cost is legitimately the same whether we're joining as a challenger or as a coach. Same exact cost. You're not paying any extra.
Your cost is actually for you. You're getting all your workouts. Like, this is, you don't have to just sit on it and watch it and be like, okay, that stuff is there and hopefully I'll sell it. Like, no, you just go ahead and start pressing play and you have access to all your workouts through your cost for starting a business. So just like Trish said, it's the same as for a challenger as it is as a coach, you know?
Your investment in your business is just the cost of you deciding to get healthy on your own, which is one of the most amazing things about this business is that what you're paying for is your own mental, physical, emotional wellness. If you're going to do that anyways, you can get the coach sign up part for free and get the discount and decide later if you want to make it a discount hobby or business building thing.
Yeah.
And when I started, I put it on a maxed out credit card only because I never intended to stick with this. My intention in the beginning was to quit. Weird. So weird. Because I've had lots of reasons to quit along the way and I never did it. Like something keeps drawing me here. That's how I know that I'm meant to be here. That's how I know that it's my passion and my purpose, because I can't stop doing it. I can't stop thinking about it. If I'm not doing it, I'm thinking about how I'm not doing it, and it makes me feel bad, right? So like I get to spend $160 to get in the best shape of my life, legitimately. And I've been through every end of that spectrum. I think I might get to that point at some thing. If not, I'll share it with you guys later. But I've been to every end of the spectrum when it comes to my own journey, and I would have given up 1,000 times over if I weren't a coach with accountability, but it didn't cost me anymore.
Right.
In fact, it saved me money to be a coach versus a customer.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the whole cost thing, it's all a matter of perspective. You either want it or you don't. If you're looking for a reason to say you don't have enough money, you'll find one, period.
And can I just say this? We get paid every week, every Thursday.
Yes.
So you technically have the potential to make that money back in a week, and you'll provide those tools. But you literally like, hey, it's possible. It is possible for you to make back your investment in 1 week. So
only by 3 people who want to join you. You have 3 friends or family who could stand to get healthier and who might benefit from. You don't even have to run the challenge group. Your coach will do it. All you got to do is invite them there.
Yep, and you'll get it back in 1 week. And most coaches, I know myself, I tend to lead with the business. You have coaches that lead with the fitness aspect. I tend to lead with the business because for me, I always look at my daughters and say, I never want them to struggle financially like how we were struggling. So I'm always leading with the business, and I can now actually see the potential, like how far it can go with unlimited income. And that's why I think once you have that vision, that 160 really looks like $16, to be honest.
Right. That's such a great point, because I'll tell you that, for example, I've been through many financial ups and downs on this business, and I've never stopped getting my Shakeology. That's what you're paying for, essentially. Mm-hmm. When you're paying for the thing that's going to make you better mentally, physically, emotionally, your organs are going to work the way, and I'm a nurse, so I can say this with confidence. Don't think I'm blowing smoke up your ass. Your organs are going to function a whole hell of a lot better, like the way they were designed to. The kinds of foods that you cannot legit, like go to your health food store, try. I dare you to go to your health food store and try to create what you're getting in Shakeology and try to duplicate the results. Number 1, it's not going to happen. Number 2, in your pursuit, you're going to spend like $400. So what you're getting, what Shakeology has done for me in my life, like I said before, if I weren't a coach, it wouldn't matter. My fiance, who was a super hater in the beginning because he's always been crazy healthy, and he legitimately told me when I started, he thought it was another weight loss shake or protein shake, and it's not. And so he said, I don't need that. I'm already healthy. And I said, okay. And 4 years down the road, he is addicted as fuck. And he it's like when we run out, which because we're both drinking it, we get like 2 or 3 bags a month, you guys, because we both drink at least 1 a day, sometimes 2, depending on, what's going on. And he's like, will text me and be like, I'm a Shakeology addict. Mm-hmm. The guy who thought that he could get everything he needed through his food. It's incredible how much better you feel. I was buying probiotics. I was buying fiber. I was buying protein powder. I was buying omega-3s. I was buying fish oil. I was buying a bunch of veggies to try to make like a healthy shake. I thought that was the answer, right? Like I just did whatever I saw on the internet. And so I was buying kale and berries and yogurt and blah, blah, blah. So honestly, I actually save money by buying my Shakeology. And it has more than any of that shit that I was using before. Like it has everything I thought I needed and everything I never knew I needed. And that's why I feel fantastic. And I realized that like, you don't really know how much more fantastic you feel with Shakeology until you stop drinking it. Because I did that. I was like, I don't know. I think this is too expensive. I can do without it. And I felt like hell. We just don't really know how great we're supposed to feel. Right. So honestly, for $4 a day, I can get prebiotics, probiotics, fiber, phytonutrients, like all these things that I didn't even know that they existed or that my body needed them before I started learning about Shakeology. And I can get them for $4 a day, which I know personally multiple people who spend $4 a day on Starbucks for zero, except for an emotional fix. Right?
Yep.
Okay. Did you think it was a pyramid scheme, Jackie? Miss Numbers Girl. This is our numbers girl. Jackie's like, so one of the amazing things about having partners in this business is we're all good at something. Jackie's our numbers girl. So let's talk about it. Pyramid scheme.
I did. I will also say that I thought it couldn't work. There was no way, because I won't name the company that I had been talked into, that I may or may not have been a consultant for before this, but I was like, that didn't work. No one needs that much of stuff. So there's no way this is going to work. How are you trying to convince people to be healthy? How is this a thing? Like, how? No, I was the biggest skeptic in the entire world, to the point that I actually completed my first, 30 days of my program by myself without a coach, because I didn't think I needed one. I did. Without extra support, without, the supplement shake that I thought was just like all the others. But yeah, I was the biggest skeptic that this is a pyramid scheme. You see their infomercials, and I was like, no, that thing is so not real. Because if you guys didn't know this, I was going to go to school to be a lawyer. And I was like, there's no way this is real. There's no way this can work. This is so illegal. It's not even funny.
The eternal skeptic.
Oh, always. Still am.
Then, the lawyer in you is the eternal skeptic.
Absolutely. And then, I happened to hop on a call, a team call actually here. That's kind of cool. I was on a team call before I even signed up to be a coach with someone who's very far up in our upline. He's actually like the head of the big team that Trisha and I are on together. And he talked about how he actually makes all that money. And I was like, oh, that's very legal. That's very like realtors. If you guys watch my video, I compared to being a realtor. Because that's, legal, in case you guys were wondering, because I have one trying to buy a house. It's very similar. It's the same kind of thing. It's just a direct sales type of system. Mm-hmm. And it's very, very common for this type of structure. There are companies out there who have been sued for, being pyramid schemes. But we actually, at Team Beachbody, have a fantastic board of lawyers. Yes. Anytime there's a new update that comes out to that type of law, they read it and they adjust our stuff immediately so that we never have any problems or anything to worry about.
Yeah. That's something I never knew, and that I rely on my girl Jackie for. You can't be good at everything, but we're all good at something. And, you got to team up with people who have your weaknesses on point. So,
and another thing too, with a pyramid scheme, it's one of those things where you have to come in at a certain time if you want to stay on the top.
Yes.
With Beachbody, with Team Beachbody, no matter when you can come in, you can easily surpass the coach that brought you in, or even the person that's My coach did that. Yeah, my coach did that in less than 3 years. Well, about 3 years, surpassed her coach. And it's possible, like, no matter when you come in as a coach in this company, you have the potential to go past the person that signed you up, that signed them up, that signed them up, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Versus a true pyramid scheme is only if you get in at the top at a certain time when this company is just coming off the ground, like some other ones that's out there right now. And then you stay at the top and you're there, and then everybody comes under you, and then you're making all this money because everybody's under you.
Well, a true pyramid scheme is, like you basically, your goal, and I mentioned this in the post that I did like a couple hours ago about, income in the Star Diamond bonus pool. If you haven't looked at it, go back and look at it. But like, you cannot be successful in this business. It is literally impossible to be successful in this business unless you help other people be successful, which is the antithesis of a pyramid scheme. Right. Like a pyramid scheme is designed around the fact that if you sign up more people, you win, and they don't. Yeah. And that's why, first of all, pyramid schemes are illegal. So there's no way we could be a pyramid scheme and still be a business, right? So like, it's not a thing. And I'll tell you that I've already surpassed my coach. My coach isn't working her business anymore. And I'll tell you that I would venture to say that 90% of the top 10 who are earning more money than you could ever fathom in your life, where you sit right now watching this video, and who are earning free trips all over the world, luxury vacations all over the world, they I would say 90% of them have surpassed their own coaches, because I hear story after story after story about how their coaches quit and they stuck with it. And they found whatever resources they could on YouTube or through other coaches they've met, like Jackie and Jody and I, and they made it happen. Like, you can make it happen. Pyramid scheme bullshit. If you're saying it's a pyramid scheme, you're just somebody who's unwilling to really look into the thing and see the business model and see it for what it is. And we did talk about income earlier, so we don't have to necessarily talk about it here, but please make sure you go back and watch Jackie's video from earlier and look at my post on the star bonus pool. And I actually intend to continue tonight and tomorrow just posting some pictures from, and you might see there from like 2014 or 15 or 16 or maybe even this year. And it's just because people update their stuff slowly. But I want to be able to show you guys what's possible on a small and a grand scale. There are people who started out as hobby coaches who were like, I started out earning, $100 a week or $20 a week. And now I'm earning, in my 9th or 12th or 18th month, I was earning, let's say, $10,000 a week. Like, it might be old data, but nonetheless, that's the way that it works. You put in a lot of work. You're working for less than minimum wage for the first little while. But once you build momentum, you are not worried about money anymore. And it all like comes back full fold. And, it doesn't matter what your coach above you is doing. It doesn't matter. You have the potential your income is based on the team that you build. The more success you help other people have, that's the only way for you to be successful. So let me just say right here and now, this is not a selfish business. This is a selfless business. You cannot succeed unless you care about the success of others. And that speaks to my heart and Jackie's heart and Jody's heart, because I know what kind of people they are. We are not in it solely for ourselves. So there's no such thing as a pyramid scheme, really, guys. And I think that beyond that whole misconception of a pyramid scheme, although they don't truly exist in the world, I think in terms of compensation plans, ours is something like I've never seen before. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Go to the quarterly star diamond bonus pool post that I posted earlier, and you'll understand, like $75,000 potential every 3 months on top of your income. Can you even imagine that? Being like, you're already making everything you could ever want to make, but like 4 times a year, we're going to give you 75 grand.
I do want to throw out too, because I never actually thought about this until it was mentioned at our quarterly event over the weekend, our small one. But in case you have noticed, there are certain companies like us that have car programs. If you reach a certain level, you get a car. But so here's the thing. I will be straight up honest. We don't have a car program. But here's the cool thing. We have something called the Elite. And if you're in the top 200 of the company, which is also what you have to do to win the car from other companies, instead, our CEO didn't want you, God forbid you don't hit it for a month and you now have to make that car payment and struggle to figure it out if something happens. You get the cash instead. You get a $500 bonus for being in this elite pool. If you choose to buy a car, he's all game. But you can do with it what you want. Right. It's not locking you into something that you're worried about. And I know, I've always wondered about that. Why don't we have a car program? I want to win a car. But it's, this is why, because he actually thought about it and he wanted it to be more about what you wanted instead of what he assumed you wanted. The freedom.
I never thought about that. Thank you so much for sharing that, because I've seen that in other companies, but it never occurred to me as something that distracted me from what we're doing here. Because think about it, like you said, not everybody gives a shit about a car. I don't give a shit about a car. Mm-hmm. I give a shit about building a life for myself where I don't have to be a slave to a paycheck.
That's right.
That's what I care about. I don't care about a car. I'll drive a beater car for the rest of my life if I get time freedom. Mm-hmm. So I love that you brought that up, because I've seen the other companies with the car programs, and it's like, that's just all flash bullshit. I don't care about a car. I care about my life.
I had to throw that out there.
True. So last objection And I like that we're ending on this because it's one of the biggest fears, not just for me, but for everybody that I've ever spoken to. Literally not a single person doesn't suffer from this fear. And it is that I'm not a salesperson. Go ahead, Jackie.
So here's what's funny. I laugh at this because my mom is a salesperson. You guys don't know, like, my mom literally for 35 years has worked in sales. Whether it be selling labels when I was a kid and in high school, and now she's into pharmaceutical stuff, like pharmaceutical labels. But I always said I never wanted to do what she did, ever. But here's the funny thing. I have to throw this out there. So I was at a trade show with my mom in Orlando. She's in this business about 4 years, and I'm not a salesperson. I'm a relationship person. Like, I build relationships with people. I figure out what they need, and I fill that need in any way that I can, if possible. And so I'm at this trade show with my mom for her business. She has a very niche market of what she produces in these labels. And literally everyone that walks up to our booth, she asks what they need. And she looks them in the eye and goes, I can do this, and here's how. And I was like, that's what I do. And it dawned on me, and I kind of said something to her, and she goes, oh, I know. You used to say that you never wanted to be like me, and you ended up like me.
But that's an interesting point. Like, you think of a salesperson in a certain way, and it always has a negative thing, but that's only because I'm echoing. Can you hear it?
No.
No, you can't?
Hear it a little bit.
Weird.
So I never thought about it that way, that like a salesperson always has a negative connotation, but that's more a personality thing and a motive thing. I think the people who get the icky salesperson label have bad motives, and they're not looking at the people, they're looking at the dollar sign.
Absolutely. And I just thought it was kind of like a funny coming around story, because she never was in the sales business. She's always been relationships. I've always commented on how she had fantastic relationship with her customers, to the point that even her customers when I was in high school still contact her now, and they are friends. Mm-hmm. And I was like so blown away by, now that I'm an adult and I can look back and see this, it's such a cool thing of what she's done.
Jody, what do you think? Like, what did you think about quote unquote selling products? It's direct sales.
A registered nurse, healthcare, and mine definitely wasn't in pharmaceuticals, you know what I mean? So it's like, that is so far from me. But I find the more that I share my journey, my struggles, my progress, juggling it through motherhood, the more that I'm connecting with other people with same similarities, who think they couldn't do it, and when you share your journey, then the business comes. They want that happy juice that you're on, you know what I mean? So I realized I don't look at it as sharing. As selling. It's just sharing for me, and that's how I'm growing my business.
And really, honestly, when you have coaches on your team, it's like you ask them, like, are people asking you about what you're doing? Because you see them on their pages, and you see people commenting on their pictures and saying things like, what are you doing? I want to know. Like Jackie, you said when you saw people's transformation photo, you're like, what did you do? How could I do it? Like, how much does it cost? Where do I sign up? Right. Yeah. And that really is why when we say this is sharing, not selling, it sounds super cliche and like hunky dory. But in all honesty, if you're sharing truly and this is why this business gets you in the best shape of your life, because you can't half-ass it. You will go nowhere if you're not on your own journey. Your number one, if you don't do a single other thing for your business whatsoever, your number one priority is your own health and fitness and emotional journey. Right. Period. You get nowhere if you're not doing that. And after you've learned how to do that, you then take it and start sharing it. And over time, this isn't like Jackie shared earlier today in her income post. This isn't get rich quick. Nobody's promising you that. This is, you get to get in the best emotional, physical, and mental shape of your life. You might work really hard and make a few sacrifices in the beginning, but the payoff in the end is above and beyond anything you could ever imagine I'm a nurse in an ER trauma, and I work in the highest paying city in the United States. Mm-hmm. And I live paycheck to paycheck, you guys. Paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
We're not taking vacations. We can't live wherever we want. We're struggling to pay all the shit from our move. Like, our moving's expensive, right? Like, so that's the max potential, right? Like, if I continue to be a nurse for the rest of my life, I know how much money I'm going to make maximum, because I'm making the maximum right now as a bedside nurse. If I want to go into management, which I don't, I never wanted to be a manager. I never wanted to go into nursing administration. I thought very much like romanticized nursing and thought that I was just going to be a bedside nurse forever in trauma ER, and it was going to be all fantastic and blah, blah, blah. And it's just not. And I don't want to be an administrator, and I don't want to be a nurse practitioner. And so, like, my income potential there's a very low ceiling on that. Whereas I can make some small sacrifices. I can decide that, like, I'm going to get over my fear of thinking that I'm having to sell things, because you're not. Like they just shared, you're really just on your own journey. You are first and foremost committing to you. By committing to you, you have the opportunity down the road to commit to other people and say, I'm on this journey too. I'm not perfect, but I'm going to do my best to help you and support you, period. It's like when you go to the gym and you're like, I need a friend to go with me. Like, if Jackie and Jody and I lived in the same town and we weren't in this business, we'd be like, I keep falling off of the gym because I'm busy, because I'm broke, all the objections between the gym and the things that we've talked about at this business are all the same, right? So we've just essentially found a way that takes less time and less complexity to achieve. But, like, I would be like, hey, girls, I need to go to the gym. I need your help. Come with me. Mm-hmm. You know how many times I see people post on Facebook, I need a gym partner?
It's the support. That's what I love about this company, is that, guys, we're not stupid. We're all adults here. You know, if you go outside and go walk or run or just jumping jacks in place, eat a clean, healthy diet, balanced diet, something is going to happen, right? But why people always say, okay, next Monday or after the holidays, or I'm going to do this. This is the time. This is the time I'm finally going to do it and go right back off the wagon in a week, is because they lack support. And that's just human nature. Nobody makes it in this world alone. I honestly believe that. Nobody makes it in this world alone. Somebody has a support system somewhere, even if it's not family, but support system just to make it through. And it's the same thing with fitness. Our mind doesn't want us to do something that is going to either, like, cause harm or that we just don't want to do. You know what I mean? Like, people are just not waking up, who's never really been into fitness, saying, I'm going to eat a salad today. I'm going to eat great. I'm going to have a killer 30-minute, 45-minute workout. Like, it just doesn't happen. And I'm going to wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning to do it. It
happens for 3 months and then it stops happening over and over again.
It's like 1 week, you know? Yeah. It's the support. It's the support.
Yeah, totally. 100%. The support, like I said, I never expected to transform from the inside out. I never expected to find a team or a family. And now, like, if I quit Beachbody coaching today, if today I said, I'm done with it, it's over, there would be a huge void in my life. Because this has meant more to me in my life than my job. Mm-hmm. To be honest, like, I hate saying it. Sometimes I feel anxious about saying it because I'm a nurse and I'm very proud of that. And honestly, Jody, you probably have experienced this. Yeah. The moment somebody meets me, they've never met me before in my entire life, and they ask what I do for a living, and I say I'm a nurse, and they immediately love and trust me. Immediately. I don't have to say anything else. All I have to say is I'm a nurse, and they immediately think I'm like a fucking saint. And I'm not. I'm a person. I'm a person who's tired when I wake up in the morning. I'm a person who has a really hard time with 12-hour shifts. I'm a person who struggles and who, I mean, are you kidding me? Nurses are some of the most unhealthy, overweight people I've ever met in my entire fucking life. It's horrid. It is absolutely horrid what healthcare providers do to their own health. Period.
Yeah.
I met maybe 2% of the people that I know in the healthcare industry, whether that be doctors or nurses or ancillary staff, maybe 2% of them are actually healthy. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So the fact of the matter is that all the objections that we all tell ourselves are bullshit. We all have the time. We all have the money. We all have the brain space. We all can learn. Nobody on this call is stupid, 100%. And will have all the training that you need, all the support that you need, all the accountability that you need. This call that we're having right now is something that Jackie and Jody and I try to do every single week.
Yep.
Right? So like, we don't always get to it every single week, but at least a couple of times a month, we are connecting here as a community. And that is what this is really about. You get to be in the best physical, emotional, and mental like space in your entire life. You get to earn an income by sharing that with other people. You get to make friends who are people that you connect with so deeply, but you never would have had the opportunity to meet in your life. And then you get to build a community of people who are finding the same success.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can go however fast or however slow you want. Jody's coach did it in like 2 years. It was fantastic. I've been a coach for 4 years and I'm not there. You can do it however quickly or slowly you want based on what you're willing to put in, what you want out of it. It evolves and changes. I've been on every spectrum, and I guarantee you, at least Jackie has as well. I've been a discount coach, a hobby coach, a business building coach, back to a hobby coach, back to a business building coach, back to a discount coach. I mean, you're in control and you got nothing to lose as far as I'm concerned. You see Jody pulling up her daughter in the middle of this is considered business. This is work.
I'm breastfeeding right now. This is business.
And she's breastfeeding. Right? Like I drink a glass of wine while I'm doing it. Nobody at my work would allow me to breastfeed or drink a glass of wine while I was taking care of a patient.
Right.
And they're surely not going to give me a raise in 6 months because I decide that I deserve it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But think about that. Look at that. Trisha and I don't have kids, but I know for us, it's kind of on the roadmap. I know it is for them too. To be able to sit here in a business meeting, still be able to take care of your kid. That's what you need to work for if you want a family.
Yeah. And you don't have to ask permission.
Yeah.
This year, like last year and this year, the most like school events I've gone to in the middle, 9 o'clock in the morning, noon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Valentine's Day party, Halloween parade. And I said yes to every single one of them. And it's a good feeling because before it would be, okay, first of all, am I even scared to even ask for it off because they're going to look at me crazy? 2, are they going to give it to me? I had to put my request in well in advance, and that was never a guarantee. It depends on the schedule. It depends on how everybody else's schedule and everybody else is working, and if it was okay for me to stay home. And then sometimes I was off and they were calling me to come in because they had too many patients or they staffed wrong or somebody called out. I mean, it's just, now I'm just like, can I just do? Yeah, I can because I am my own boss. I call the shots.
And it's not that you're not working hard. You have to do the work. Is not like there is a lot of work that goes into it. It's like Jackie said earlier in her video this morning. She said it's not easy because self-discipline isn't easy, but it's simple. The activities themselves are so fucking basic. Yeah. Right? Oh, sorry, there's a little girl in the room. Everybody knows that I am really foul mouth. But but I mean, really, like it's not easy because it's easy not to do, just like it's easy not to work out, right? But it's simple. You push play, it's 30 minutes, it's no big deal, right? Same with your business. It's simple. It can be done. It's the same amount of work, but you're the one in control. And that's really what we're advocating. Nobody says that there's no such thing as working for doing nothing for something. That doesn't exist. And if anybody tells you that you can do no work and earn lots of money, they're full of shit and run away, run in the other direction. So we're not saying that this isn't work. It's work, but it's work that we enjoy, work that fulfills us, work that actually is in line with our passions or has become our passions, even if it wasn't in the beginning. And it's the kind of work where you can arrange it around your day instead of arranging your day around work. And that's the value. So does anybody else have anything to say?
I think we covered the good stuff.
I think
we're
so.
covered. And I don't see anybody on here right now to do a live Q&A. So if you are watching this as a recording, please comment your questions below, and we'll be checking in on a regular basis to answer your questions. Trust me, even if it sounds like a stupid question, it's not. Even if it sounds like something that, you know, you're afraid to share, share it. This is a safe place. It's a private place. Share your questions with us, and we'll be happy to answer them for you. We're going to leave this group up for the entire week. Yep. So if you didn't have a chance to like get through everything, it's fine. You've got time. We're going to continue to share income potential posts over the next couple of days. And, you know, if you have questions in the interim, like if you check in finally on Friday and you got questions, still post them or message the person who invited you here. You still could invite your friends. They'll still be added for the next week. The whole thing is that this is about your time, not about somebody else's time and you trying to fit your life around their time. This is about your time. So I think that's all I've got, ladies.
And guys, like if you invite your friends into this and just say, look, I don't know what the hell I'm doing, I just want somebody to roll with me, and they're down, then guess what? That's your coach. You sign that person up under you, and talk about not knowing what the hell you're doing, but you're moving forward. You're already working a business.
Dude, do you know how?
Dude, just ask, man. The worst I can say is no. And you will get judged. I don't care what they say. You're going to get judged. But guess what?
You're getting judged anyways. They're judging you. People are judging you every damn day. It doesn't even matter.
Exactly.
Give them something to talk about.
At least. And like you said, like I always thought, like if I ever had like if any of my friends truly wanted to do this with me, it'd be like the biggest blessing. But I don't have any friends close to me that do, and that's fine. But I've always thought, like, what if my best friend?
Not yet, because a lot of people end up coming around. It just hasn't happened yet.
They got to see the byproduct first.
They're watching.
All right. I love you, ladies. And I think we had a fantastic call. And again, if you guys have comments or questions, please post them below. And we are here for you for at least another week.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.